welcome back to After Hours at Blondie's, where we're chit-chatting away about music and culture and industry. And we have the beautiful guest, Rose Motion, in the hot seat tonight. Welcome, welcome.
Let's get that clap there.
And yes, you haven't gotten rid of me yet either.
We still have Nathan still with us. Very excited.
Made the cut.
Yeah. We're going to dive straight in today, and I want to take you guys all the way back, like way back, because we obviously know and love you as a talented producer, vocalist that you guys are today, but kind of go back in time and give me your first sense that you started to fall in love with music, or the first song that you fell in love with.
Yeah, hit him. Go for it.
I'd say I first started like really loving music grade 6. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mr. Clark, grade 6, Millard.
Mr. Clark, let's go. Yeah.
Huge stoner now that I look back. Like, that dude was definitely high every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the band music teacher at the time, and I remember he was like teaching us different songs, and I believe it was Green Day, Time of Your Life, and like learning the chords, your G chord and all that stuff. And that's kind of when I just started really loving it. Spend every lunch hour pretty much just playing guitar, and then
that's sick.
From there, that's kind of how I started getting into music mainly. What about you?
I used to do these like family 7 to 8 hour car drives up to like my favorite place in the world called Agnes Water, and they were some of the happiest moments of my family life. And we would just listen to like albums on the way to the place. It was like crazy, just like jamming in the car, just
family all singing to the same songs. Yeah.
Like here, this, and then me and my sister just belting it in the back. So they were like, that's how I like really got to know like albums and music, was in those long ass drives. So,
long road trip tunes are always a mandatory. They're always a must.
Yeah, they definitely keep the car situation sane for at least a little bit.
I had to listen to my parents listening to Arabic music all day, so it was like
you do what you can, you know.
It's catchy, but it's also
what was mine?
You don't listen if you don't understand the language. It's not as fun.
Right? You have to kind of know the lyrics. Good sing along songs, right?
Yeah. I love it when you like Green Day, like when you know the song off by heart, just go hard.
For sure. If you're doing karaoke and you have to read the track, your performance is not as good.
Oh my God.
You know, if you know the song, then you can just let loose.
Oh, you like karaoke?
Yeah, for sure. I've done it a few times, but like, you know, when it's like you're trying to do a song you don't know that well, it's so awkward. It's just so awkward. You know,
I just stand there like, I can't read. No,
well, you are getting old, sweetie.
I know. I'll need my glasses soon.
Karaoke. I feel like I only do karaoke when I'm like blackout drunk. The last time I did karaoke, I was actually with her sister in Australia. For her birthday. We were like, I think it was like LMFAO. I forgot what is sexy and I know.
I definitely saw the video. Sorry, go.
No, it's all good. But I re-looked back at that video and I was like, Jesus, bro. Like,
there's a video?
Yeah, there's a video. Oh
God, no.
Hopefully it doesn't surface.
No, it was like
erase all evidence.
My sister was on stage. And she like in the video she like points to you and she's like, come here, and you like run up like a little child. You're like, me? And then she's so like, excited. I work out, and then you're like off time off
not even
everything.
like
it's like I work out. Yeah, it was like it was wild. And then we never went back to that pub.
But I'm like pretty adamant that I like don't do karaoke. Like every person that I like talk
I'm
to,
not
like,
a karaoke kind of person. I don't know.
I hate it. Like well, at least sober me hates it.
Drunk you fully on board.
100%.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde right there.
What do you mean? You love it apparently.
Like... Closet karaoke.
Somebody's got to be.
Lots of witnesses that would say you love it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's why I left the country. And...
I'm not allowed that.
Fair enough. So speaking of leaving the country, let's go forward a little bit more in time into the inception of how you guys actually met. How did you guys meet? To start
I guess like I decided to come out to Canada. I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and we were like living together, and we had a kind of a messy breakup. And
this was in Australia at the time?
This was in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, I'd seen like the big, beautiful lakes, blue lakes of Canada, and I didn't think it was real. I was like, that's definitely Photoshop. Like, the whole Google search is Photoshop for sure. And so I was really drunk that night after breaking up, and I just like bought a one-way ticket to Vancouver. I was like, fuck it. And then I was like, in the morning, I was like, oh, you need like a visa and stuff, right? So I figured that out. I ended up getting a 2-year working visa, and so I moved here, and I started working at a cafe. Sorry, it's not like a long story.
No, we got time.
So I started working at this cafe. Actually, it was called The Loft. I think it's called Muffin Break now. It was in Kitsilano.
Oh, okay,
Is it 4th or West 4th?
Yeah, West 4th.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
And I used to work there, and side note, I didn't know that the minimum wage was like $10.75 at the time.
At the time, yeah.
It's like half of our wage.
Yeah, Australians, you get paid so much more.
With the same rent.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I was like, went from just being a barista, earning like, what is it, like 20 to like sometimes 30 an hour.
Right.
Depending on the day. Like a Sunday you earn like 30 or whatever, like 10 and a half. And yeah, to come here, and I was like, oh, this is why people tip. Like, I get it now. It was wild. So, started working there. I met a bunch of really cool girlfriends, and we're like still friends to this day. And
my dog.
Is that the puppy?
The puppy. He wants to be a part of it.
Stories, but that's cool. You're
he does. He's really interested in the story. He really wants to know what's going on. Come see. Come. There we go.
Yeah, join the party.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So I met a bunch of really cool girlfriends, and we're still friends to this day. One of them, her name is Madeline Duke. She actually lives in Vancouver.
Oh, cool.
Still. And she was working with Post Malone's manager at the time. And so you guys are working together. And I was like, yo, I need to find a producer. Like, I need to make music. Like, I think my guitar had broken at the time. So I was just kind of losing my mind of it. Yeah. I was like, I need a producer. Let's get this going. And she was like, oh, I know this guy, Malikai. Let's link you up. And then that's how it happened.
Very nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how you guys connected, because if we're going back in time a little bit, you're a vocalist back in Australia.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy that? What was that experience like for you?
It was cool. I grew up like making a lot of folk. Like, I was obsessed with Ed Sheeran. I went to his shows, like, very obsessed, like learned all of his songs. And I was actually just working at pubs, but like playing music for like 4 or 5 hours sometimes, from like Thursday to Sunday. And so that's kind of like started to become my job. And it was really fun. But I didn't actually start doing anything, I guess, in the industry until like after I came to Canada.
Oh yeah.
Back. So
were you singing mostly covers and
okay.
Yeah. And you wanted to do your own original stuff when you got here?
Yeah. Like, I definitely realized that covers were cool. Like, they made people feel really good. Like, it was like a really nice exchange. Like, I got to do what I loved, and then people got to enjoy their meal, or I don't know, just go out.
Live entertainment. Yeah, it's fun.
Everybody loves that.
So it was really great. But then I realized, like, it's just not as authentic if you're not like
for sure
making it yourself. So that's kind of how that happened. And then I moved out here, and then you were actually one of the first like legit producers I started working with. There were lots of other producers for sure, but I was like, this guy's legit.
And then you guys clicked and it all worked out. So go back in time for yourself. You've been a producer, correct me if I'm wrong, hip hop and soul. Trap?
All that stuff. Honestly, I've made like almost everything. It's like I love music, but I guess when it comes to production, I actually started with house music, funny enough, and then I kind of like went away from that and got into hip hop, R&B. I was part of this like drum and bass project called Reflector. They're actually like still doing stuff. They play like Shambhala, and like the other guys in Alex is in Calgary. But and then that kind of turned into another DJ project that I had that was called Panda Cat, which was like electronic dance hall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And then
What was it called again? Sorry?
Panda Cat.
Panda Cat. Okay, that rings a bell. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, we played like Red Room and a couple different places. We opened for like Walshy Fire and stuff.
Oh, that show was crazy.
That was a fun time.
You had dances.
Yeah, we had like dancers up there,
cool.
full choreographed things. But
They look really
me and the other guy that I was doing with just didn't really like vibe after a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's kind of when I started getting into like back into house music, and that's when we started doing the Rose Motion project.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of got lost.
Yeah,
on
no, that's perfect. Yeah.
So I went back and forth type thing, and I was back in Australia, and I think I was doing a couple of shows here and there, and just working with a couple of producers, and then I get a call from this guy, and the time is always off, so like you'll call me at like 4 a.m. in the morning. It's like always like strange. And it's like good morning, and it's like it's not morning for me.
It's not so good, but morning.
But yeah, what's up? And then you were like, bro, why are you in Australia? Like, we need to be together making music. Like, what are we if we're not making music right now? Like, let's freaking like just buy a ticket, like figure it out, like come over to Australia.
Canada.
That one.
Yeah. That country.
That one. To Canada. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Like, let's just do it. You were like, you sent me a playlist actually of a bunch of beats that you were making. And you're like, we should just do this Rose Motion thing. It makes a lot of sense, and I know that we could kill it. And yeah, so Bought the Ticket came out in February 2020.
Very nice.
So that was an
and
interesting
then the world
time.
shut down.
Yeah, so that's
and
what
then
happened.
everything
It
stopped.
was actually crazy because I caught a plane from Brisbane, where I'm from, to Sydney to like go to Canada.
The transfer, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And when I pulled in to Sydney, I see this other plane come in, and just every single person has a mask on. And obviously pre-mask vibes, you're like, what the frick is going on? Like this is not normal. And then I was like, I didn't really think about it too much, and then I got to Vancouver and then just saw all the news at the airport and all this stuff. So just landed and then the world shut down.
I think if you got in February, you probably got one of the last really big plane rides.
Yeah, and after that, everything
the country.
Yeah, almost right away.
My family was like, "What? Like you just left us? Like what's happening? When are you coming back?"
Yeah,
like,
there's really no way to go back, because I remember Australia and New Zealand were one of the toughest, if I'm not mistaken. With the border restrictions.
Decided to
let's just close down.
Yeah,
nobody was allowed in or out. So that was crazy, but we ended up making a lot of music.
There you go.
So that was awesome.
A lot of time for production.
Absolutely.
Locked in a room with the only person you're allowed to talk to. So fine. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do.
Be
Straight
productive.
up.
Why not? Yeah.
So that's kind of how that happened.
Inception there. So making music and in the studio, what were some of the first couple of projects that you guys kind of worked on and started loving making together?
As Rose Motion?
As Rose Motion. Yeah.
First song was we did like we actually like during that crazy time with COVID, we probably just made like 15-20 tracks, but like the first songs that came out were the Everything I Wanted cover that we did, like Billie Eilish cover, and then I had already worked with Nostalgics on another song like a year or two before we worked with her, and then we worked on the By Myself song. I think that was like one of the first. No,
I landed here, and then we literally like the second day we went down to her studio. Where is that? On Davie
so
or
cool.
Something?
Yeah, the one that's in Celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, downstairs.
Yeah.
It's Village Studios.
Yeah.
It's a studio down there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was
How was
like fun. Yeah.
Lena in Canada.
And then we just like worked on the production, worked on the vocals a bit more. I think we worked on that song for about a month or so, and then that kind of came to fruition. That was awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, how was working with another artist then? Because working together with artists is sometimes you agree on things, disagree on things, find cool stuff, throw stuff out.
Always.
Yeah.
For sure. The studio it gets kind of hostile, to be real. Like, and it's nothing personal. Like even between me and Rose, it always gets like gets pretty intense, to be honest, because you have to fight for your ideas, and pretty much whoever fights harder wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
You know, it's like, this should be there. This hi-hat should be there. No, this one should be there.
Right.
You get these back and forth.
And you're both right, but who's more right?
To be honest, it usually is easier when we're working with like another artist, just because like it's a nice break, because you can just kind of like, you get your idea, this is as far as I want to get with it, and then you send it off. And then they can send it back, and so it's like it gets pretty efficient when you can work with different producers like that, because I feel that like a lot of the times what goes wrong is that you get too stuck on an idea.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you just get too involved in that one idea in all genres, you know.
Yeah.
And you can get really like, once you start hearing, like your ears naturally will just get tired. Like there's no way around it. Like your ears will get tired. So something that, for example, could start to sound dull, but it's not actually sounding dull. It's just that you've been listening to it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
On
You're
repeat.
exhausted.
So it is nice when
Hungry,
you have
tired,
other like just like people to bounce ideas off of. I think that's why I've always kind of gravitated towards groups, because music's like about creating with people. Like it's only so much fun by yourself. Like so I enjoy working with people. Sometimes it gets crazy, especially when you get to like contracts and
or if there's a lot of people. Like I feel like there's a nice amount of people to work with, and then as soon as there's like 5 people involved, it's like there's just too many voices for the one.
Especially if there's like one like person that's the leader that consensus is like, this is the person who makes the final decision. Because then everybody feels like they should be the final say, you know.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
There's lots of fizzle songs out there that just didn't like really
go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's passionate too. You know, you're passionate about your art and your beats and your vocals and everything like that too.
But it's good. I honestly like, I respect people who can just stick to, like, if they're like no, then it's just they stick to the no. It's like, okay, cool, like get yours. I think it's kind of the freedom that you get in this industry is like, not a lot of people can say no, so when you do say no, then you stick up for your music. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
Yeah. I mean, as I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I do photography. That's my main creativity outlet. I'm starting to get into music, but it's kind of. Pardon me?
What camera do you use?
That one there, the A7R5 is my current newest one. I have a A9 as well, Sony's, if anybody's asking. And the nice thing about, I love working with people too. Like when I discovered portrait photography and working with teams and doing fashion shoots and stuff like that, I love the team aspect of it. But the nice thing about it as a photographer is the photographer is always the last say. So I get to, like, I love the ideas and collaborating, but like at the end of the day, if I don't push the button, nothing gets done. So if I don't like it, it's not happening. You know? But I haven't really had to like put my foot down. Not that I can remember at any point, but like it's nice to know that like at the end of the day, if I want to, like I can flex that muscle, you know what I mean?
It's a little different in music. I feel like it's a little bit more subjective. There's so many people involved and stuff like that.
It's sensitive, like art, just any type of
For sure,
art.
it's very personal.
It's very personal, it's very sensitive. Artists are sensitive.
But in a way, like I guess one way we kind of do cover ourselves a lot of times is that we're songwriters. So it's like when you have a song, like the ownership of the song, it's like half of it goes to the music and then half of it goes to the songwriting. So it's like if we're also producing it, even if it's like one sound, it's like if we wrote the whole song, even though we obviously produce and like make like the song, but like, so we kind of already have 50%.
And then if you're doing doing the producing,
you know what I mean?
Also,
even if I have 1% on the music, even if we have 1% on the music side, it's like we're already like
majority owner.
Totally.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like if you know at that point, then it's like it's almost as if the other contributors are like the instrument players. Like you're the guitarist, you're the drummer, but not. I'm saying metaphorically speaking, but also could be literally speaking. But it's like you have one job.
No, straight up. A lot of people are, it's funny because like a lot of producers don't understand that. So like a lot of producers think that like, because they, like I've been a producer for a long time. So it's like, but it is funny just working with different producers that don't understand how like the whole business, I guess, side of it works, because it's like, it's like, this is how I want it to go. It's like, yeah, dude, but like it's our song. So it's like you
actually,
can't just like
we've had things where like we've spent like so long writing a song. We record on like usually with a Manly cardioid 2 microphones, so it's like a very beautiful, like Shawn Mendes is like recorded
like
with
Grande,
like a beautiful microphone. And so we've gone to the effort of writing it, you know, the details of the songwriting itself, like
chords.
the chords, everything, and then you'll send it to a producer and they send it back and they just cut it and change like certain lines around and things like that, and you're like, no,
that wasn't the song.
It's like no, and it's like no, we're gonna do it this way, and it's like no, but we're not because
maybe the remix,
yeah, exactly,
sure.
There's different
go
versions.
hard on the remix, man, but it's like
but when it comes again before like saying no is like I think it's a good thing because if something is you know, artists like, you know, can spend years just trying to create the perfect masterpiece. A lot of that is from saying no.
Absolutely. And I think if you don't have that conviction, then you probably don't think it's good enough in the first place, and you're willing to like get the input from somebody else because you think like it needs it. You know, if you're more willing to be like, okay, you know what, maybe your idea is better because you just don't feel it strong enough.
Exactly. Yeah, like what you were saying too, like with the there's definitely ideas like in the studio where like you have to kind of let it go. You're like, no, it has to be, and then you have to think like, why do I want it to be this? Is it because I want it to be this, or is it the art? I feel like there's always another entity in the room, you know what I mean, that you're kind of making it for.
It does help kind of like, because now we have a very kind of clear vibe that we're going for now with like all of our Rose Motion tracks. Like they're all sexy tech house, or even the ones that aren't tech house. They have like a certain emotion that like we're going for, so it's a lot easier to write for or to like produce, because it's like
you have a target
for it to be something that we want to create. So it's a lot easier to say yes or no. It's like if this is gonna work or it's not gonna work.
True.
And you can be like, because this, not like just because I don't feel like it.
Because
it has to be like this, but we like it.
Well, it's like creating a whole storyline around yourselves too. Like we're artists, we love storytelling and, you know, bringing all this art forward. But then if it doesn't fit the storyline, you know, then you kind of have a couple outliers that don't really quite make sense in the grand scheme of what you're trying to put out.
Totally.
You know, it helps you narrow that down a little bit, I find.
Definitely.
And then I guess the other person in the room, like you were saying, is kind of the audience too. And it's like your target audience, like if you imagine the perfect scenario that your art is being portrayed in, that being consumed by, like who is kind of like that person in the audience? Like what kind of environment do you guys
I feel like
want to curate?
Session starts with like, what do we want somebody to feel? Like I think that's literally every time.
Makes sense.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
we're all trying.
But I feel like we're kind of like the songs that we make, it's kind of for like I love the reaction we get just from it really genuinely just like encourages people to dance. And it's kind of like we kind of just love creating like a safe, fun, sexy space for people to dance. Mostly girls. Nothing biased against that, but those are usually
they're better dancers. Usually.
Way better dancers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, knock it.
So it's. I mean, for me, like that's just like really encouraging and.
Well, it's cool to see like your things that you make in studio all by yourselves. You put it on the dance floor. Somebody's rocking around to it. You know, we've got the couple over there, the girls in the front. Everybody's just having a good time, enjoying themselves.
100%.
Like it's like I don't think there's any better feeling like apart from actually making it. It's kind of
it's like it's a blessing, to be honest. Like it's a like incredible feeling, and it's I don't know, just like. Yeah, seeing your idea go from nothing, zero, you know what I mean, to you know, to the point where you actually kind of hate it. You know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where it's like, I don't even know if I like this.
I was gonna say, like when you were talking about like how you just sometimes your ears get tired or whatever. Yeah. You know, if I'm staring at a photo for so long and it's just like trying to be like, why can't I not love this anymore? You know what I mean? You just keep pounding away at it, and sometimes you just got to walk away, come back later, you know,
Yeah.
like just give it some time to breathe and let your brain reset, coming at it with a different angle.
Mhm.
I'm sure that's the same with music or anything else, you know, even science.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
I
sure you
definitely
could
think taking a step back is important. You become so obsessed with like your creation.
Mhm.
You're like, no, I need it to be this way. Like I need it to like I edit a lot of videos
Mhm.
too, and I find that like a lot of the time I'll just be at it for like 5 hours, and it's like I don't know why it's not working. I'll just like take a break for 2 days and finish it the next day, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I could've just
you
done
just
that.
need a
It's like
refresh.
integral
Yeah.
to like have that process. Like without stopping, like you're just gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
Definitely.
why, again, I do enjoy collaboration because it's like you're probably both not insane. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like if you both like it, it's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys had experiences with like burnout and creative burnout
All
before?
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
How do you kind of like work through them, or what do you do to help yourselves?
I would say like
Smoke weed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
valid.
that helps or if that's just like what I do all the time. But
Yeah.
either way.
I feel like definitely creating different music. Like I make R&B.
Mm-hmm.
You create so many different beats. It's insane, and you work with lots of people. So I feel like making other music and then being able to
Kind of
come
like
back.
multitasking in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I had
Refresh.
to just only make R&B, it's like I
Mhm.
probably would go insane a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think like having that freedom to make whatever genre whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially working with a crazy producer. It's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
It's like I want
Yeah.
to make a
It's
give
like
me,
magic wand almost.
Let's
you
Zeppelin
know?
cross
Yeah.
with Billie
Yeah.
Eilish cross with this right now, and it's
Yeah.
like
Let's go.
Yeah.
He's like an AI
Fascinating.
ChatGPT. You type in what you want, you get a result. Like,
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
Is this what
Rare colors
Yeah.
and pink
Yeah.
and blue, and
Yeah.
let's make that. Yeah, so
Here it comes. Yeah. Did you go to school for all this, or how did you kind of?
I
get-
went to well, it was called Harbour back then. I think it's SAE now.
Oh yes.
um,
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually where I met like a lot of people that I kind of started to get into music with. But to be honest, like it was really dope, and like meeting the people were sick. But I didn't really get really good at production until much later. Like it's
Mhm.
kind of just like it's a luxury, and I'm grateful that I was able to do it. But it's like the music industry, the entertainment industry is just so much deeper than just like going to school. And I'm like, all right, ready to
Mhm.
go.
a lot of times
Absolutely.
post-secondary school is mostly about who you meet.
100%.
You know, because
yeah.
the nice thing about school, post-secondary school, is that you're going to do something specific that other people are also interested in doing the same thing. So you're meeting people, like whatever it is, you could be an engineer or whatever, you're meeting other people that all want to do the same thing. So now like
Mhm.
if any one of them is successful in one way or you're successful in another way, that's a connection that you can now, you know, you get that as well. And, you know, that's why
totally.
in the States, they're so big on fraternities. You know,
I was
they're not,
literally about to say. I was like,
yeah,
should I
they're,
say that?
we don't do it as
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
I mean, we have them here, but it's not as big of a deal as it
It's
is in
not
the
quite
States.
the same thing.
It's
no.
not quite as, I mean, it exists.
Yeah.
It's just not as big of a deal. But in the
Yeah.
States, it's a huge deal. And it's because like, that's where you meet people that are going to be what gets you connected in the outside world. You know, it's like, so that's where almost, I mean, even especially nowadays, like school seems so irrelevant. You know, it's almost just like whatever you're learning today is already 2 years out of date. And by the
Yeah.
time you're out of school, now it's 4 years out of date.
Less about the
You know.
education, more about the connections
Yeah.
and like where you want
And
go
learning
with
to
that.
learn. But other than that, the information is, you know, sometimes
On
it's-
YouTube.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
So
straight up.
honestly,
the amount of time
yeah.
that or the amount of things you can learn on YouTube.
Literally
Yeah.
had to. Anything.
Wild,
Literally.
wild. I've learned so many things off of YouTube.
Look and pressure yourself. It's like, oh, I made that.
Like-
because
Yeah.
of that.
You fully learn pretty much Premiere Pro.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you and like they're on actually Rose Motion does have a couple music videos that you've edited, but like nuts videos and it's just
Thank you.
yeah, it's crazy
Yeah.
just like what you can do, just
Oh yeah. I'm.
how to use
Yeah.
X
So
program,
take it back.
whatever.
Oh, almost
Time
all my
warp,
current
everything.
education in Photoshop is YouTube. For
Straight
sure.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, I learned a tiny bit in high school, but none of that, you know, sheds a candlelight on what I've learned since then. And like without YouTube, I would not be the retoucher that I am today. You know,
Mhm.
like absolutely not. It's
Yeah.
just so there's
So valuable.
Yeah,
and
so
you can go at
valuable.
your own pace, which is
Yeah.
like better than school, because it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if you have to watch the intro video 10 times and that's what it is, but
Yeah.
like you,
Or for specific things, like
yeah,
if you want to like have a theme that is like masking, like who does it? What is LSD by
ASAP Rocky.
Thank you, ASAP Rocky. That the whole video is like just masked, and I wanted to do that one time, and then that's the only thing that I learned how to do at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it's
And
definitely
then-
not something you would learn.
Yeah, but you have that skill now, and you can always apply
Yeah.
and keep moving.
But I didn't know
you
like very regular stuff.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
knew how to do this one really
Yeah.
hard thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
But that's sometimes
allows
all you
to
need,
do-
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, because if you go to school, you're going to learn all this stuff.
in the last term or something. as
Yeah,
well.
and the one
Mhm.
thing you want to learn is somewhere exactly the last
Yeah.
term. Whereas like your YouTube is like, I need to do this specific thing, and they're like, well, here's all the things you need to know, and here's the thing, and it's like perfect.
Yeah.
It's very efficient that way.
Actually,
Yeah.
when I was at Harborside, I got into like a slight argument with one of the teachers there, or like teachers or owners, or I don't even remember. But
Mhm.
I just wanted to learn like the production stuff. I was pretty realistic about what it was,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and he was like, "Why aren't you trying to do the studio course?" It's like, well, it's not that deep right now, and
Mhm.
like I'm here for like X amount of time, so it's like I'm gonna get what I want out of it, because that's
I
what
can
I
totally
wanted.
see you saying that.
He's like, well, you
Yeah.
know, that's okay, that makes sense, you know. And
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like, and then I ended up working at studios, and I know how to use Pro Tools, I know how to
Yeah.
do all these other
Mhm.
things, so it's just
Sometimes on the job is where you pick stuff up too.
Yeah,
It's like
That's where you
when
learn
you're
most of the
when you're
stuff, yeah.
motivated, you need to learn something, then you go and you make it happen.
Well, if
you
you're actually
know?
producing
Yeah.
results,
Straight
you
up.
know,
Yeah.
like that's you're getting into the application of what has to be done. So
Mhm.
Totally.
then that's where you're cutting the fat out of it. It's like, yes, maybe there's some value to learning the history of music production, for example. You know what I mean? But like, are you
Don't knock
putting
it.
the history of the production in production? Probably not. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
So
like
true.
if you want to have a nerdy conversation with somebody about it, then fantastic. But like,
Facts.
you know, I
Mhm.
remember, you know, my girlfriend a long time ago, she was in Emily Carr taking photography, and I already been doing photography for like 7-8 years professionally or semi-professionally at the time. And she was learning all this stuff that was completely irrelevant. Like,
Mhm.
like just
It's like a
like,
tick. It's like a box tick type.
Mhm.
yeah,
Thing, you know.
she was
Yeah.
learning like all this art history and how to use pinhole cameras and how to develop film in a dark room, and like this is
I
this
mean,
is
which is cool.
and I mean
Definitely.
and,
but
and,
like
and I'm not
date
even,
night, not
definitely did
school.
that.
I was talking
For sure.
we're talking about like 2006 2007,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is not like things were still done in film, but like it was definitely very much going in
Yeah,
a digital direction, and it's just
Yeah.
like nobody's shooting film to create advertising campaigns. It's just not happening
No.
anymore.
It's very
No.
expensive
So-
and time consuming.
Yeah, so why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
learning all this stuff that you're never going to use
Totally.
unless you just
Mhm.
want to be an artist,
Exactly.
like a pure artist? Like,
Mhm.
are you spending 25 grand a year to learn how to be a pure artist?
Mhm.
If you need that, you're probably not an artist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, an
Yeah.
artist
I
will
mean,
just be an artist.
Connections and
Yeah.
just like you're saying, on the job.
Mhm.
I like worked at this place called DJ Light Sounds. It was in the Valley, which is like the party central of my city.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was going to do a 2-year course at TAFE, which is like college
Mhm.
for audio, and just learning about, you know, which chords go into which to set the system up or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I just worked at this DJ shop for like 6 months, and I could walk into any club
Yeah.
and plug in, or just somebody could ask me a question. I'm like, yeah, it's this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As opposed to taking 2 years of my life.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah.
hell no.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah,
find a
yeah.
way to charge you 25 grand, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
Always. Well, that's the interesting thing too, as you mentioned doing it on the job. You've done a lot of music videos for Rose Motion, stuff like that.
Mhm.
What is kind of the process that you guys do? You conceptualize first? Do you like to go and shoot? Do you have storyboards? Like, what kind of goes into all
I
that?
think the first thing is the message that you want to send.
Mm-hmm.
We usually walk a lot and discuss like the story and who we want it to like, what kind of audience we want to tap into, what we kind of want to leave them with. And then I guess we go like storyboard, kind of like scenes. or,
yeah,
like,
I'd say,
starts and
yeah,
ends.
storyboard. And then depending on who's shooting it, it's like then we kind of will like
Mhm.
talk to them. What was the one in the Gold Coast?
Sugar Sweet.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So that was with
BKH. Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon. And somebody flew up for this. Oh yeah, what's the guy's name?
Santarelli.
Thank you. Oh my God.
That's
so bad.
savage.
I'm so sorry. I haven't talked to him in a while. I smoke a lot of weed. Yeah, so Santarelli, this other DJ that we made the song with, he ended up flying up to the Gold Coast to shoot it with us, which was really fun. And he hired like this ridiculous like dope car, like a G-Wagon, to just run around in. It was crazy. And he came with a friend, and then basically in that time we were like calling him, telling him basically like what we want it to be about, his part that we're gonna play, and then I guess we did like a casting for like the models, the actresses and stuff that we wanted into it. But yeah, I guess like meeting up with the videographer, kind of
It
structuring
helps.
out. It does. Again, it's like the extra person. Definitely, you can bounce things back.
And what's even possible, because it's like depending on what the equipment they have, what they're comfortable with. Like it was cool because that specific music video was kind of just like best friends going around having a good time or whatever. But yeah, he had a drone, so we were able to like drive from like almost like one city to the next, but with the drone following us. Like followed us through the forest and stuff.
We like crashed it one time. It was
Oh
really
no.
bad. And we're going down this one street, and he was trying to like be below the power lines, but like not so close to the car. So he's trying to like, he's in the car like watching the screen, trying to not, you can't see what's in front of you, you can just see what's below you. And I think he just like drove it like off the road and into this huge hedge, and it got mid shoot, just like got stuck in the top of this hedge, and we were like, cut scene, break, let's figure this out.
Like,
we'll be back in 20 minutes
to like try to shake it out of the tree.
Oh, God.
Did you guys recover it? Or
we did.
I think we just had to change the propeller thing. But he just bought it, so it was really funny.
Oh, I've gone through. When drones were just starting to become like commercially available, like the DJI Phantoms, I had a 3 and I had 2 4s. Like, crashed 2 of them and 1 got stolen. I was like, you know what, drones are not for me.
They're not better things. It just gives you a sign.
Because that was like $6,000 later, and I'm like, okay, I don't make that kind of money.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
They're much more accessible now, and they're better, way better now. But like, it was so much fun though. Like, you're seeing angles and flying these things in places that you never see see it before.
Yeah,
so
it's originally reserved just for like helicopters, and that would be
helicopters and birds. It's like that's it.
So much money in order to get that shot, but all of a sudden that shot is like in the hands of people. Like you could just create that from your
because even at like $6,000, because it's like to do a lot of those, you would at least need a crane, which is like ridiculous.
Totally,
But so it was dope. But you could get some beautiful shots. And that was a really fun one. So
I think the really fun part is like writing the stories for everybody, because obviously there's no like dialogue, there's no like conversations, it's not like a film, it's like a music video. So but we do like write backstories, and so for Sugar Sweet there was a whole backstory of like the main girl, she just broke up with her partner, but she had stopped talking with the other girl that she's linking up with to go on the road trip, and that's why there's a bit of I don't know,
they had a little rift.
And then they start singing the song and they start getting along, and it's like a whole thing. Everybody has a backstory, but it's kind of funny because like you never get to see it, but there's like a huge page just for one person, and you get to read it as like
and then the actor gets some direction,
they get in the vibe of it, who they have to become, and
you have to embody it, because it is a physical acting at that point, because you're you're not reading a dialogue or whatever.
Exactly, it's a lot of expression and everything, and really funny with Santarelli because. What was the story? I think he was lending the car. His little story was he was lending the car that was his mom's car, and I was driving the car. And basically in the beginning he's like, don't crash it, okay? It's my mom's car, it's a great ride, all right? But I want to drink, but like you gotta drive the car. So it was like a really funny like scene. Obviously you don't really, as a viewer, you don't know what's going on, but it's really funny.
Well, then you watch it and you get your own interpretation. Everybody's their own stories, and they connect with it in some way and really enjoy the song.
Yeah, I love interpretation. Like people are individuals. It's like take it as you will. So.
Sometimes you what you think you're putting out is not necessarily what everybody's getting. Which is fun. It's a fun part of the creative process. For sure.
And I guess that goes into kind of like image and like what you want to portray, but then everybody else how it how they portray it and see it too, you know?
Mhm.
And then I guess with that, so once you have the full kind of music video all done and dusted, what is your kind of like social campaign or campaign to like promote the music? And what's your kind of process for that?
Wait, sorry, you're gonna say something?
Oh,
Sorry, you just sound like you were gonna say something, no?
no, I don't know, like a tutorial, like
Not a tutorial, but like, do you have like target markets? Do you go like, obviously you've got the tour coming up. You go on tour with the music and promote it that way. How do you share the music with your audience?
I think it's just been growing over a certain period of time. Like there's obviously like the people in the music videos, like like the more people in it, the more people are going to talk about it. So I guess when the team is bigger, but a lot of it's just the people that listen to the music, like so. Yeah, and it's growing all the time.
Yeah, like our YouTube channel, Rose Motion TV, has like a bunch of different stuff. So we
so you use YouTube for sure, and you market through that stuff.
Yeah,
you should do social media.
100%.
Yeah, it has like Rose Motion TV. I put my stuff on there. You have personal stuff on there.
It's kind of like the hub for all of our stuff. So
yeah,
nice.
And
shorts.
then a couple of the artists that we've signed to our label, we put their stuff on there too. So it's been fun.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like a little community hub.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And you like to bring on new people. So you have a record label as well. Do you primarily have like one sound that you try and promote on there, or is it kind of like
whoever's talented that you like
genres?
No, it's kind of all over the place right now. I guess besides our own music, like we have two artists kind of that we've worked with. One is called Hallie Halo, who I've been working with since I don't even know when, long time, and Honey, who's an Australian like R&B artist. So I guess
represent.
I'd say the people that we sign are mostly R&B, just because it's like, I don't know, it's just more of a vibe,
close to your heart. Well, it sounds like you guys kind of originated in that sound too, right? Like close to that?
Yeah, I'd say so. So yeah, the people we sign are kind of like that, but it's all over the place with the record label. If you're talented and we vibe, then I'm totally making something.
The last Honey, she's like a dancer as well, so she's like very in the dance world. So I think that's what I vibe with. She actually helped me with the choreography for Love Tattoo, which is one of my songs, my music videos. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like when people bring the vibe, bring the package, it's like you can't not. I was like, we definitely need to do a song. So
yeah, absolutely. You see the talent there, and it's just a natural.
And then her voice is like crazy because she's a beautiful, amazing dancer, and so just got the dual vibe going
multi-talented.
on.
Yeah. You just want to highlight those people. You just see the talent in them. Yeah.
It is. Cool. It's fun. It's nice being able to help. Because it's like obviously it's hard for people to like realize that vibe or know what they have to do to finish a song. Like
it's like I love like the high quality stuff, and so many times I hear people like half finish a song or like won't like I don't know fully finish it, I guess, to its potential, like finish what am I trying to say, like just the full potential of what it could be.
Completed thing,
that you can put out to the world.
I definitely love to see that through. It's really cool.
Straight up.
Do you have any like career highlights so far, like that you would be like this was a major turning point and this is like a major highlight of what we've done so far?
Well, Rose Motion, I mean, it would have to be like what we're doing right now, like the tour, like just to have like this many dates booked in like such a short period of time. Like I guess to put it in perspective, I mean, we've only been in Canada since like May because it's like before that we were in Australia for a bit and then it was COVID. So it's like there were like underground shows
for sure.
And then there was one that was a whole we might touch on that later, but that was a whole other thing.
We'll see.
Yeah, but then first show we did in Australia, that was really fun. But this like just having all these shows and being able to go to different cities and stuff is like pretty special and pretty crazy, like to be honest. Like
May is when we came. Since we've been back, we did like a festival as Rose Motion. It's just been quick. for what we've done. And then we
For
started
sure.
booking the tour in
Like November.
November.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
independently, like, it's cool to be able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And have people reach out. Do you kind of like do a little bit back and forth, like know the venues that would be really good and your audiences there? Like, do you do a little market research around the area, or like?
Yeah, Google, Instagram, you know, you just,
Mhm.
or you find people that are kind of
Mhm.
similar to your
Yeah.
vibe or whatever, and or ask people that you know, like
Mhm.
where cool places to play are
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we kind of just were like, where do you want to go? And then once we kind of got those dates locked in, we're just like, all right, cool. And then line
Very
them
fun.
up. And
Yeah. Do you have like people opening for you? Do you have other people in the lineup? Do you kind of curate the whole night, or you're just featuring?
It's all different. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
depends
each
on the
city
space.
is like completely
Mhm.
different, which is kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
It's cool. So, yeah, like Calgary, playing at Rated Ultra. Lounge.
yeah,
Cool.
That's gonna be
that's like
sick.
next Saturday, which is, I just realized that. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it before.
Right.
And was
I need a
like-
set list. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we're headlining
Oh
all
my
of
god, it's
them.
gonna be cool.
But
Mhm.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it's like warmer everywhere in Canada.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely
Yeah.
snow out there.
Yeah, but it's Calgary, right?
There's snow.
I'm hoping for the best.
Okay.
I'm going with that mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going with
Put a
that
winter
positive.
cap and
Bring your coats. Let's just put it that
Oh, yeah, we're
way.
bringing a coat. for
Yeah.
I had a
sure.
friend of mine just got back from Edmonton actually, and he said it was
Oh.
only 5 degrees.
Oh.
You know,
We're
it's
chill.
mostly
I see my
mostly
friends.
-15 this time of
That's
year.
what I'm
so
saying.
like 5
That's what I
degrees.
thought we were getting
Yeah.
like ourselves into.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 5 degrees and it's fine. He's like,
5 degrees.
yeah,
Could be worse.
It could be
yeah.
much
I mean,
worse.
Vancouver
yeah.
gets cold, too.
When we're talking about Canada, 5 degrees is tropical.
Dude, we're like
Very.
laughing. We're
Yeah.
laughing. Like,
Hey, Australians, it's 5 degrees. Get
Yeah.
your thongs and your speedos
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very warm.
yeah. So well, we're headlining all of them, but
Mhm.
yeah, Calgary. Whistler one's really fun because
Mhm.
Whistler goes on. That was on like on Wednesday, but
Yeah.
they just
Yeah,
They'll-
every
it's the
time
weekend
it's
every day
weekend.
there.
Yeah.
It's the weekend every day there. for
They're-
sure.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
much
weekdays
fun.
are more crazy.
They are more
Wow.
crazy.
Probably,
for
yeah.
sure.
Well, everybody goes there on vacation, so they're vacation mode 24/7. You know.
Yeah.
And I feel like the staff
Yeah.
there will party so crazy
Yeah.
too. They're like,
Yeah.
Monday, hell yeah.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure.
Well, they've got a, they're working probably the weekend,
Mhm.
right? That'll be a fun
Yeah,
time.
they let loose. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it. Absolutely love
Well,
it.
you guys did a show there at Garfinkel's with Kedifear. How was
Yeah.
that show?
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah.
The first one we did, they're all always fun. The first one
Mhm.
that we did there was probably the most fun.
So fun.
Mhm.
Just what time? When was that? September
I don't know.
maybe.
Mhm.
But anyway, that was just hectic. It was really hectic.
Yeah.
Like it was so much fun, and yeah, we had a pretty good dynamic. Like just because, just like our sound, like is very. You can kind of go either way. Like we don't have to play like super intense
Mhm.
for it to be the vibe. Like our
Totally.
Mhm.
The back to back was like the most fun. To
Mm.
be real, it was really cool.
Were you playing like the sexy tech house that you guys are producing
Oh,
now?
always,
Like more vocals?
always,
Yeah.
always.
Cool.
That's
Definitely. And it was cool because I feel like that show that you're talking about, we got to like play a lot of our original stuff
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
It's always so like nerve wracking because you like got the next song ready to go and you're like, if it doesn't work, we'll just put in the next
Mhm.
one. But it
That's
Yeah.
with the back-to-backs, right? Or with or
was
just even while you're playing.
yeah, because we basically did that show. We like played
Mm.
our set, and then
Yeah.
later in the night we just came.
Yeah,
back
just
and-
riffed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Very fun.
yeah, just for like our set, it was just like
Uh-huh.
yeah, the energy was so cool. It was just such a consistent like flowing sound the whole time, and all the
Mhm.
songs that we played were like, but like the originals just
Mhm.
like banged.
Yeah.
Do you
So
sing
cool.
Yeah.
live too, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah?
Very
Depends
cool.
on what it is.
For sure, yeah. I guess
the
Sometimes it's like, this is
venue
not a
and-
play.
yeah,
yeah.
Just standing up
Yeah.
on stage, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
But
Well, you
if I
opened.
can, I will.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I saw you opened for Whipped Cream as well, and like,
Yeah,
so
it's
for
fun.
tell me about that. How was that?
That was kind of like a last minute thing,
The
actually.
day before, actually.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because our friend Temper, Laura, she was like, "Yo, come do," because we were working on a song with her,
Mhm.
and then so she told us to come out and like play a couple songs with her. So yeah, we did that. Actually, funny story about that is like we when we were like getting in, it was kind of like hard to get in or get all of our people in for some reason. So Riley from Zilla like helped us get
Riley Harris, yeah.
Yeah. He helped us get like all of our people in. That was like really dope. Then we played this
super hospitable, lovely.
Yeah.
Time. Yeah.
So weirdly enough, my teacher from high school like came.
You just love your teachers.
Yeah, like we've been homies. He's like like he's only like 9 or 10 years older than me. So it's like, but he's just like super weird, but he's a super dope guy.
Yeah, but
like,
he came to support you for the show.
He wasn't actually supposed to come.
Oh, okay.
Like I was just linking up with him before to like catch up for drinks. I thought his wife was gonna be there. Like I thought it was gonna be like senior teacher and his wife, because it was just like a catch up thing.
Play show.
And then funny enough, somebody like recognized me and Jamie in the like little restaurant we were in. And they're like, hey, I saw you on the whipped cream, because we did like a hey, it's reservation, we're gonna play at this thing, whatever. And so they recognized us from the story because it got reposted or whatever on whipped cream's thing. And so he's like, oh, I definitely got to check this out.
Yeah.
So then he like walks down the street to the
He was
Harbour.
like, I'm not going to come in. I'll just walk you guys.
I'll just walk you there.
Oh, that's
Fully
sweet.
comes in.
Yeah.
That,
Riley's like, oh yeah, everybody come in, right?
Yeah.
The dude was like, you want a drink? I was like, yeah. He just comes back with like 5 drinks, like just ready to
that's
go.
so
He's
sweet.
just like so excited.
Yeah, well, it's great to have
Turn of
supporters like that
events.
too, that have kind of seen you come up and
100%.
taught you, and then they're there to support you in real life too. Yeah, that matters.
That's cool. Your teacher gets wild.
He does get wild. He had to be controlled.
Yeah.
He almost like fought one of the. He's like, dude, you almost just fought someone. I was like, they were like trying to like get at you, right? I was like, no,
Oh.
that was not happening. That was in your head. But anyway, we brought
Yeah.
our other videographer, Galen. Shout out, he's the man.
So dope.
And yeah, we just filmed everything. Night went great. Everyone's super
So
happy.
were you DJing back to back, or were you singing?
Yeah, we were kind of like
What was
DJing,
the-
and yeah, she was singing.
Yeah.
Like
Just happy with the crowd, really.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like performing some of the like new songs that we had created together.
Very cool.
And then yeah, so everything was good, and as far as I know, everything went great.
We saw Riley after.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
And then like we got the footage, and then we started editing that night, because it's like when you do a show, you want to like
You're
Still
so
fresh,
excited
you're
about it.
excited,
Yeah,
Get it
I want to get
edited.
this out like tonight /
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fresh.
Yeah.
So we made like a promo for whipped cream. We made a promo for Temper. We made a promo for us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Different songs.
yeah.
Cool.
But then they just like Temper just like completely flipped out at us, like out of nowhere. Just like
no. Mhm.
yeah. And it was like, I can't believe you were so disrespectful and like didn't edit the video like you did for whipped cream. It's like, what do you like whipped cream, like the touring artist, and like you like has no music out.
Yeah.
Like, and we did make her one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like insane. And then ever since then, Riley just like every time we see him when we go out, he like looks like he's like seen a ghost. It's like he's just scared. Like he gets like it's weird. Like yeah. So if you guys ever see him, please feel free to ask him.
Somebody asked what
like,
happened.
because like I genuinely don't know. Like super weird dude.
Like you just made the video out of the goodness out of your heart, and they just.
I wouldn't even say the
Freaked out.
goodness of our heart. It's just like
No. So Galen
just
came
made
through.
the video.
Mhm.
He
because
like
that's
gave
what
us
you
the
do.
footage.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like stayed up all night editing it, edited it to a T, put everybody's songs, different songs behind it, and then sent it out. And then I don't know. It's just okay. Actually, didn't we go to a show? We saw a Brisbane artist at Fortune.
Yeah. Skin on skin.
Skin on Skin. Yeah.
Mhm.
Saw Riley there too. I say hi to this guy every time, and he straight up looks at me and then walks the other way. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Interesting.
It's a very odd
Super
thing.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
again, if anybody knows, Riley, if you're out there,
Yeah.
what's up?
Like it's
Yeah.
but yeah, so I don't know. Like I'm still trying. There's a lot of things in the music industry that I'm still trying to understand.
Well, it's people. It's just people in general.
Yeah,
Like any industry with people, there's going to be
there's gonna be
interactions
issues.
where you're
It's
like,
actually crazy how small it is. Like
the city's very small.
yeah, but like
Very
every
small.
like a lot of cities, it's like there's there's a community. The community of the industry is very like small in every city. Like from Sydney, Brisbane to here, it's like once you know people, you know people. Like everybody knows everybody. So yeah, it's always very interesting. You always hear things. There's actually like, oh god, we went out New Year's or something.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like this. Did you get an email? No, nobody got an email. Okay. Yeah, all of my followers got an email of a picture that was taken in a club, Aura. Just sent to all of my followers. All of my followers started messaging me about this email, about this picture in the club, and I was like, "What is going on?" So there's a lot of
somebody
crazy...
took a picture of you at the club and then took the work to email everybody on your followers
every single
list?
person. I swear to God, there's some
that
people
is the
who was like,
wildest thing I've ever heard
picture.
in my life.
Yeah, it just happened recently, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
No.
People are wild, man. I like.
A lot of people.
Not to be that guy, but like I genuinely think that like just us as Rose Motion, like we're like an interesting looking group, right? Like I'm black, you're white, I'm Canadian, she's a girl, she's Australian. So there's a lot of like conflicting different things that are like not normal. So I think it's just that like it like when people don't understand things like in human history, like you tend to like kind of repel things,
lash out at
things that you don't understand. And I feel that like a lot of people just like if once they don't understand, it turns to anger. And so it's like, and also we're in like different spaces. Like we're not just in dance music. Dance music is a lot more accommodating than like other genres of music.
Fair.
But
that's fair.
You know, it's a different structure because I mean, even the DJ structure, it's like the reason why it's more accommodating is because people like DJs need the music. So therefore you're not
they need other people's music too.
Yeah. So you don't, but like if you talk about rap, right? It's like, you don't like the other artists don't need your music. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
you're
like,
not gonna do rap performances and then have 3 of like some other artist's tracks that you're gonna rap over them. Rap them for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas a DJ, you put your own songs, you blend into some other DJ's producer's song, and then you play another one, and then you come back to yours. You put them together or whatever. It's different. Yeah, it's more collaborative. It's more like
just coming from that world. I don't know. A lot of people just don't really like us for some reason. It is what it is. I've just kind of like learned to accept it.
I think the craziest thing I've had to learn to do is like be okay with not knowing why. I think that's a huge thing because there'll just be like certain people that will just stop talking to me or again like send this picture around and I have no idea who you are, what I did to you or you know
like why
I have no idea. And I would that's the thing, I'm very like I feel like I'm down to talk about whatever. I feel like my views on so many things has changed because I'm down to listen and like actually think about things and be like,
do we have any haters in the chat that want to ask some questions? Like,
are they out there?
Yeah, can we?
Let's go.
She's ready to talk. So.
If anyone has questions,
let's find out.
Yeah.
You want me to bring this smoke? Right? Please, I'm down to talk.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, if they're ready to scour your Instagram and message followers, maybe they're on this. Let's find out. You know? Like,
I actually wouldn't doubt it. But I think that's the biggest thing. It's just like I have to be okay with.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you don't control how people think.
And I think, you know, when you get into the whole music thing, it comes from your love of music and just wanting to make music that other people love, you love. For me, like, I grew up, like, in a very abusive household, mentally and physically. And so I feel like music was the only thing that really, like, understood me. And I felt like the first time I wrote a song, I felt like it was a diary. Like I felt all of that emotion just was out there. But I think the difference between music and diary is that a diary can just go under your bed.
It's very private, whereas this is like you're exposing your wound.
Exactly.
Your
and it feels so good. But again, it's like you are completely out there. Your life is out there. And again, the more that people like your music, which is a great thing, the more you have to deal with people not liking you.
Of course.
And it's so personal to you, you know, and so it's very hard to distinguish between like the person and the brand and like the artist and then what you actually put out is your soul. You know, that's
100%. It's always so conflicting and so wild. I think this whole thing is just a journey of like finding peace within like your music and your life.
Yeah.
It's not what you think you signed up for.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I always wanted to be a rock star. But...
Yeah. And that's the thing, the more
it's
famous you get, the more it's a numbers game, you know?
Yeah.
Even if
More
like
eyeballs.
0.001% of people are jerks,
Yeah.
if you've got like 10,000 fans
Yeah. It's a
or
lot.
100,000, that's a lot of jerks.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't need you don't need more than one jerk to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Not ruin everything, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
make
yeah.
a dent, right? Like
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a like the entertainment industry is like has hella ego, and like everyone's in it for whatever reasons. It helps though, like when you're in it because you love it, you know what I mean? And like that's like it wouldn't matter if everyone hated me. Like
that's
love
right.
this.
So gonna
Yeah.
Like, this is,
Well, that's your driving motivator.
to be honest,
your
you
factor.
can get more famous the more hate you get. Let's be honest.
You know, that has worked for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but if that's your driving motivator is because you love it. You're in it because you want to put out the music. It just flows through you.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like for me personally, if I've dealt with haters as well, and it's just like, sorry, not sorry.
Like,
you know,
it's that like, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you're like that.
Yeah, exactly. They just, you know, it kind of reflects on them more than it really reflects on you.
It does. Of course
Absolutely.
it does.
And I think that like your response to it kind of will speak more value and volumes.
Or even lack of response or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever you choose to do, however you choose to.
100%. Yeah, I definitely learned
respond to
that
them.
over the years. Like, I think the first time I got, hate was like a Facebook status or something. Somebody tagged me on Facebook and just called me like, oh, you're fat, you can't sing, you'll never get your dreams. And it's like, this is really coming out of someone's mouth. And somebody that I know, which was even crazier. And I felt like so... Like, it started with, like, sadness, and then it was angry, and then it was like, F you, wait, hold up. And then I had a lot of people message me, and then it's
support.
Just, exactly. And it's like that so much more outweighs that one.
It just goes to show you that
person.
one person does this, and then, like, you have, like, 100 people come out and say this is nonsense.
Yeah.
You're like, well, obviously, it's nonsense then, you know, like, you've got enough.
And that's exactly
validation.
what happened just recently, too. And it's just like...
It's a projection
Yeah.
of what they're feeling internal. Yeah.
It's
like,
we all have to we all I think have to learn to be less affected by the negative, because it's in our natural, it's a naturally a human
Protect
thing.
ourselves.
Yeah,
It's a naturally human
mechanism.
thing to react more strongly to negative than it is to positive. So like we all have to be conscious of the fact that that is something that we're going to do as human beings. And it's just, you know, when you think about it, which we're all doing right now, we're thinking about it, we know that it's nonsense. So it's like, okay, we're going to react. Oh, we've got the post, we've got the hate, we've got the message, the emails, whatever. It's like, okay.
Email, like, just DM people, bro.
Yeah,
like, what are we living in?
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's
a lot of effort. I feel like that's my number one fan right there. So much effort.
It could very well be.
So much effort,
you know? Yeah. I mean, that's almost a compliment too. It's like they're, you know, while it is negative in its sense, it's still energy, you know, everything is energy, and what you put into it expands. And if you're putting in the energy to negatively impact somebody's life, then
I mean, you know, if like you kicked somebody's dog and then now suddenly you're getting a bunch of email hate, you know what the cause and effect is, right? But if you didn't do anything like that, then like,
also New Year's,
where's this coming from?
Like, you didn't get a New Year's kiss, like you're so mad or something. Like,
exactly, it has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. But again, peace is what I'm constantly looking for.
But we are waiting for if anybody wants to.
I'm ready.
Chime in.
Come at us. You know, we're live. Let's do this.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not. We're here to promote music and talk about music. No, but haters are like they're a part of it, and they'll always be a part of it. And with the good comes the bad and ugly, and all we can do is kind of keep our motivations, you know, as pure and as intentional as we possibly can. Yeah. And going into the next thing and leaving all that behind and just trying to start anew every time, I think is so valuable.
100%.
Yeah. not much
It's a
you can
wild
do.
ride.
It is. It's a wild ride.
Mhm.
And I think that, with all the numbers and this and everything like that, sometimes what gets lost in the mix is actually the music. I find that for myself sometimes too. I'm like, okay, well, I've got the Twitch, I've got the podcast, I've got this. And I'm like, wait, the original reason why I started all this stuff is because I love music.
Mhm.
And what I want to create, I want to put out into the world and stuff like that
100%.
too.
Actually, a lot of the time, like, you and I will just be like kind of stressed, and then you'll always be like, do you want a blunt? And I'm like, yes. And then
That's the
and then
Vancouver
but
in me.
usually in the conversation it's usually like like, why are we feeling this way? And it's not because like we're backtracking or any of that. It's just because we're focused on, I don't know, booking the tour or talking to this person. And it's like, wait, we just gotta make some fucking music. Like, let's just wait and make some more music.
The things that are stressing you out are all the things having to do with getting ahead.
Yeah.
And when you come back to the creative process, it's like, oh, we're not stressed about the creative process. It's like, we love creating. It's what we do well. And then like all the stuff that's around it. I mean, at the end of the day, you hope that you can just create without having to worry about money, but ultimately that's not reality. So if you can create and it creates money for you, then that's a win. But if you have to get to that point where it's not something you have to worry about as much. But we all at the end of the day, we have to put a roof over our heads, and it's extreme. We were talking about this before we were on air, like the amount of money you make, especially in a city like this, compared to how much it costs to be here. It's stressful.
It's wild.
It's stressful. So it's like,
Oh my gosh.
it's not a mystery why you would be stressed out about, the things around the things that you want to do.
I do feel that like all good things do happen though when we make music. I think it's definitely like, it always humbles you, and it always just brings you back to like baseline emotion. And I feel like everything could just go smoothly from there. I definitely feel like reset after I make a song.
Yeah, absolutely. You've put it out into the world, and you're like, okay, I feel good about this little baby. And then all the things, just little babies,
I got a silly question actually. So how long did it take for you to create the whatever your longest song what is to create to completion, and what's the shortest time?
I guess I should start with
shortest song
to completion, where you're like, this is done, and you're not touching it again.
Well, actually, it's probably like the same song in a different way. So basically, we have a song called No Strings.
Okay.
And we actually made that pretty quick. That probably was like a couple weeks. But then we took that song and basically remixed it, but we turned it into the new song called Wanna Dance with Fab Massimo. And so the first one probably took like a long time, and then that remix
I see what you're saying.
was like the original No Strings, that song probably took like months, and then the remix was like
it worked out so well.
We like revamped it, then sent it to him, and then I was like, oh, okay, that was like
done. That was crazy.
It's crazy what that range is, right?
100%. Like, it gets easier sometimes to like figure out what it's done, but like it's some are just easier than others. It's like some can be done in a couple days, or like but I feel that like the production of it can take as long as you want, like, because you can always, like, same with any form of art, you can always add editing, you can always add effects, you can always do whatever you want to it. I feel like when it's a little bit easier to gauge with the songwriting, like when we're like writing lyrics and like melodies to songs, just because like we usually can get that done, at least the bulk core of the idea done in like
a session?
in a day, or like an 8 hours or session or whatever. Like the idea of it, like the songwriting part of it, or like
it'll just be like 4 chords or something.
Yeah,
with like a 1 chord,
just enough to get the melody of the lyrics through, and then add to it after, kind of thing.
But then the production, it's like
it's kind of endless.
That's the big X factor.
Because it's like it's also the mixing with the production and just adding little bits and pieces, or little effects,
and then finding if you want certain people to mix it or certain people to master it, and like just going back and forth. Like sometimes you send it to the mix engineer, or sometimes like we're the mix engineer. Sometimes,
oh my gosh, sending it to the master engineer, and then sometimes they're just like, I'll be back in a month, and you're like, no.
you know what I mean? It's like, so
I want to get it done now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like logistics of just like other people's schedules that you got to factor in too.
Yeah. And that's almost when it goes from like art to like, okay, now we're on people's timelines and
yeah,
schedules.
because it's like you finished the art a long time ago, and now we're just polishing, and sometimes that could just take a while. So
as long as it needs
I would say, to like fully answer the question, would be like the quickest, like a couple days, like fully done, and then longest, like
a couple years.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So many like renditions or like versions.
Yeah.
It's like, what if we just change the BPM completely?
It's a new song.
What if it's or a different genre of the same kind of song?
You know, change the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what is cool though? Because obviously, like the EDM world is like, I wouldn't say I'm a newbie, but I'm definitely way more new to it than you are. And I feel like with a lot of my music, my R&B stuff, like if I'm not doing shows, as soon as it goes out, I don't really listen to it again. Like I don't really listen to the. I hate it, and then I won't listen to it, and then I'll hear it like a couple years later, and I'll be like, oh, that's smash, yes. But with just the Rose Motion stuff, is like as soon as it comes out, then we're playing it at the club like straight away, and so you learn to just like fall in love with it again, and then you get sick of it because you play it so much, not because you're sick of making the song. I guess. Yeah,
you almost have to. For me, I think like fall in love with it from an audience member's perspective
too.
And like
because you see how it's reacting. Like, with people. So.
And how it fits in with a set. And when you put it, do you put it at the beginning? Do you do vocals over it? Yeah, all those choices.
That's one of the things that I always like. You know, for me, like I'm sure a lot of people are like this, but when you over listen to a song, you get sick of it. And it's like when you're imagine being some of these touring artists that are playing the same set 4 nights a week or 3 nights a week. It's like, you know, it's like you get to the point where like if I listen to this set one more time, I'm going to blow my brains out. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I watched James Hype's series that he does on YouTube, and he's like, some of these touring artists play the exact same set.
They do.
Literally 4 days a week. Like this is fact. And he's like, because I'm doing all this stuff for YouTube and all in different shows and everything like that, he's like, I'm making a brand new thing. And he's like, I don't know what's harder, listening to the same set over and over again,
or creating a new one every time.
Creating a new one every time.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot of work. I feel like that's where a lot of the effort has to be in, because the set is like, it's like you're taking people on a journey, like, for sure. But I definitely feel with like the sets over and over and over again. Like, I have to just add a little something in there each time.
Change it up.
We kind of pride ourselves on just like making like we obviously have our original songs that we always play, but then you know we'll make mashups and like different versions of songs. So it's like no one can really like mimic what we do, like because it's like not only is it like our own songs, but it's like different versions that like literally no one else has.
Yeah, you may even play it once. And like this is the only time I'm gonna play this version of it or whatever.
So I love that. Like I love having just like, you know, your own ideas that like no one has and stuff. So
like little Easter eggs too. And then when people follow you from different tours and stuff like that, and they'll come see different shows, they'll get those little nuggets of
100%.
You have to be here.
Oh yeah. I love making our intros too.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, talk me through that. What do you put into it?
The last one we made was because it's the Wanna Dance to Us, so we made Wanna Dance little. It was like Wanna Dance, Wanna Dance. There's like a little build up kind of thing at the very beginning.
Very
of it.
fun.
And then you bring in the song.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
And we have like
it gets people excited, especially if you have people who really know the song. They're like, oh, it's coming.
It's
like
the little earworm, like ooh,
I love just like the very like long drawn out poems too, where people are like, come on, man, just drop the thing. But I love that, and I also just love like just being us. Like we have like a little one of our songs for Wanna Dance is like, if you're ready to turn up, say hey, hell yeah, but it's like already pre-recorded, so we can put effects and like all that cool stuff on it. which makes it really fun too.
Yeah.
So, I
Play
love
with the
that.
crowd.
Entertainment, like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
you're giving them a show. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're there to perform. Everybody loves it. They walk
Yeah.
away having a good time.
Straight up.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you, even if you're playing the same thing, quote unquote, playing the same thing over and over again, just the energy you get back from it sometimes will be like, well, I'm still not bored of that energy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not bored of that like dopamine rush that you get from performing in
The
front of a live crowd.
cheering, the dancing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Doesn't get old.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, because
That'd be-
I'm big into comedy, right? So like
Mm.
comedians, they have a set when they start doing their like tour, they're literally doing the same thing over and over. But it's like, you know, making people laugh constantly is. I'm sure you're never gonna get bored of that. You know,
Yeah,
like, so it's kind of I feel like it's the same
totally.
thing. Like just getting.
Mhm.
If you were just playing that same set over and over again to yourself, of course you're gonna hate it. But like if
Yeah.
you're getting all the vibes back, it's like
Yeah.
okay,
It's
this is
also
cool.
For sure.
Interesting, just bouncing up people's energy because you like I watched like SZA just do her tour and or Ed
Mhm.
Sheeran or any artist really, and they have like a structure to how they do it. You know, they have certain like call and responses, just different things.
Mhm.
And it is interesting seeing like different cities or different venues like react differently. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's dead silence, other times it's like the best reaction that they've gotten. So
Mhm. Or like a challenge, like Beyonce's
Yeah.
new challenge, you
oh
know?
my gosh, yeah.
You know, cool stuff like that too,
It
that
is
like
really cool.
the whole world can kind of get on board with.
Mhm.
And I think that's really fun as well.
It is really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Endless.
Yeah, well, lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Where is your first stop on the tour? What's your first venue that you've got going on?
Well, technically, we played like the Vancouver ones like a couple weeks ago, but the
Oh,
next
okay.
one's in Chilliwack
Mhm.
Okay.
on the
Cool.
11th.
Very nice.
Yes, 11th at
Okay.
Lux nightclub.
Lux nightclub.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thank you.
Very
Yeah.
fun.
So I'm really excited. It's like it's so funny because like it's like on a Thursday, but we have like so many people coming to that one.
Yeah.
Like it's
In
good.
Chilliwack, it's
Yeah.
so random.
Chilliwack
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Thursdays is the new Fridays.
I don't think
tell
I've
ya.
ever partied
Yeah.
in Chilliwack.
I have to
It's
come
not
out.
a venue. I haven't
Might have
got-
to party it up.
But maybe we'll guest list. You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
got guest
of
list?
course.
Well, I'll be
Yes,
in
we got
Mexico,
you,
but
don't worry.
you can go for sure.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Straight
Kobe
up.
and I will be there.
We'll get a plus one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
front and center. Front and
Yeah.
center. I'm excited.
Sure.
Amazing. Well, I'm
Yes.
so excited to see what's coming next from you guys. Best of luck on tour.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Don't let the haters get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love them and leave them in the past.
We love you, actually.
Love you and we'll leave you.
Mhm.
And thank you guys for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You little
Did
brat.
you enjoy that?
You
He
little
loved
brat.
it. Please follow Rose Motion on both of their individual accounts as well as their Rose Motion accounts. Feel free to subscribe. We've got new episodes coming out every single week. Follow us on Twitch. Follow.
Mhm.
And we will see you all very soon. Adios.